Joining us now is Wimbledon Academy manager Mark Robinson. After last week in the FA Cup against Coventry, this week the focus is on the young lads with the FA Youth Cup. How are the boys coping with the challenge that you're setting them for tomorrow?
Yeah, we had a good session this morning, Chris. It's been quite difficult because the under-21s had their game against QPR last week, so we helped Sean prepare for that, and so we couldn't really start working until sort of Thursday, and then we couldn't do anything Friday. So we've only really had Thursday, and we've done a session today, and Sean's boys have come in and helped today. So we haven't had loads of preparation, but as I said, we've had a good session today. Sean's boys were great today, and we've worked on a few things that might help us for which is a really tough challenge tomorrow night.
And how difficult is it going to be? Because Colchester, by all accounts, are a very good team.
Yeah, I mean, people probably think Colchester and don't look at them, as a massive club, but it's the biggest challenge we faced as a youth team in the history of AFC Wimbledon. I mean, we could be playing West Ham, Tottenham tomorrow, and the challenge wouldn't be any harder. I mean, we know for a fact it's the best group they've had. They were playing the likes of those teams last year, the big teams, and I think they finished third in their league. I know they only lost 3-2 to Chelsea last year in the FA Youth Cup. So it's a huge challenge. They're going to be older than us. They've got a couple of lads I think one lad who's scored a couple of times for the first team, and they've had other lads involved, I think, on the bench. So, it's a huge challenge. We're predominantly for first years, but that's what it's all about, Chris. We're not going to overthink about them. They are what they are, and it's just a great test to see where we are, what we're good at, what we're not so good at, and what we need to get better at, really.
And I was at training myself a couple of weeks ago, and it all seemed quality stuff. Is there anything you can do differently when you approach a game of this magnitude for the young lads?
No, I mean, it's a little bit different. Everything we do normally is about us. So when we're playing league games, everything's about us and getting a little bit, getting better at what we do. Obviously, FA Youth Cup, it's kind of got that glamour to it, and so we think we do a little bit more about the opposition. We don't know a lot about them, but we played in pre-season when they were excellent, and so we touch on things. But what I don't want to do is the boys to overthink about them. It's got to be about what we do, and at the end of it, I just want to walk away and despite the score, what happens, I want to look at some of our boys who have had good performances and gone, well, he was as good as some of their players out there, he was as good as some of their players, and then the other boys who haven't maybe performed, we just go back to the training ground and work hard and get better at what we do.
What kinds of a squad are you able to pick for tomorrow night? I know some of the young lads have been involved with the under-21s. You can just run us through what you can choose from tomorrow.
Yeah, so we got 17 boys available. Chris, who's Vitnik, who's a second year, he's only just come back from injury. So we got 4 second years available, and the rest are first years, basically. So I've just got to sit down now and decide what team I'm going to go with. But as I said, it'll predominantly be a first year side, yeah, that's it. I mean, we got George and Dan back who have featured. Dan Pearce and George Oakley have featured in the under-21 games predominantly, so they'll be back. And then I've just got to look at what shape we go with and fit the players around it.
And I believe that includes Ryan Sweeney. Is he okay to play?
Yeah, Ryan, who did ever so well, I thought, in the under-21 game against QPR, still only 16. Yeah, no, Ryan took a bit of a knock, but he's trained today and he feels fine. So, yeah, I mean, that was a quality game against QPR. I thought the boys equipped themselves really well. And obviously the first team, I thought, were excellent on Friday. So unlucky not to get a result. So we're hopefully going to try and emulate those two performances. But you never know, it might be third time lucky.
And I met some of the young lads down at the ground on Friday and managed to get a few of them pictured with the FA Cup. What does it mean when we're doing these odd jobs around the club, and how important is that with young lads?
Yeah, I mean, it's so important. I mean, without boring you, I think modern day life, it's different now, and players get everything done for them, and I don't think that's a good thing. So the boys do jobs here, nothing ridiculous, but they do jobs to keep the place tidy. They all have rotas and stuff they have to do in the office here for Neil, and just general jobs, and they need it. They need to keep grounded. And I think it's a good experience for them to do jobs, and also it gets them to know the first team players. It gets them to know Neil better and Coxey and Bass. So it's an important part of their development.
And final question, just touching on Saturday's game, I believe it was a 3-2 defeat against Portsmouth. What was that like in terms of preparation?
Yeah, it was okay. It would have been nice for the boys to get a win. I can't deny it because they've had a run of losses now and their confidence has taken a bit of a dip. Started really brightly. Should have gone a couple of goals up. Then we did go a goal up, but then Pompey hit a couple of wonder strikes. There were things we could have done to prevent them, but at the end of the day, they were great finishes. And the boys sort of, I wouldn't say dropped their heads, but you could see they were a little bit down. I changed things at half time, and we come back. And although it was a little bit of a scrappy affair second half, we come back stronger, and we had enough chances to at least get a draw and probably win it. But we didn't. So but there was things there. The transition was good between the first and second half, and I've got the DVD and we'll have a little look at that tomorrow. So the transition in attitude, which is something that I'll be showing them tomorrow, and showing how important that attitude, vibrancy is when you get taken on the best sides.
Thanks very much, Mark, and good luck tomorrow.
Cheers, Chris. Thanks.